Good morning, guys. It is Saturday, April 5th, aka March 23rd on the old calendar. Today, I am reading from my favorite book. They're kind of all my favorite book, but today this is from the Synaxarion from March, the children's book, A Saint for Every Day. I ordered this because the series, the Synaxarion for Children from Greece, because it was a recommendation from Father Cosmas, a priest monk in Australia who does a really good catechesis talk called All Talks, Orthodox Talks on YouTube. And he recommended that even adults get this, that it's not too young-minded for adults. And given that I'm 4 years into the faith, I'm not above children's books. I think they actually benefit me more than more adult material, if you will. So I love this Synaxarion because it's very simple. There's like a saint for every single day. They have pictures of the saints, like their icon. They have maps of where the saint is from. This is a different saint, but you can see they have maps. They have little fun facts. They have timelines. So I highly recommend this children's book for everyone, not just for children. It's really easy to read, and I don't get overwhelmed in the morning, and it starts my spiritual work. Like if I don't do anything else, I can at least read one of these with pictures. And so when I'm half asleep and I don't really want to start reading, this makes it okay. And the stories are really pretty detailed for a children's book. So I was going to read the one from today because it's about a saint who is a 12-year-old boy. And I love children's saints. I just think and he was around 1588. So he was a relatively new, I guess, saint. But he was 12. And I love children's saints. They're just pure. And it reminds me of how the goal is just to be pure of heart and you're good. You don't have to do anything extraordinary. They're doing extraordinary things, but they're children. So, all right. If it's okay, I'm going to go ahead and read that for you if you're interested. This is Saint Basil of Mangazea. I have no idea if I'm saying that right. So, Saint Basil, right? Saint Basil was born in the 16th century of Yaroslav, an important Russian town on the Volga River. His parents were simple and pious merchants. Basil's favorite place in the whole town was the church, and he would spend every spare hour there. When he became 12, his parents agreed with a merchant from the distant Siberian town of Mangazea that he would take Basil in as an apprentice. After a long and dangerous journey, Basil arrived in Mangazea. His boss was a harsh and heartless man, and Basil's life away from his family was difficult. However, everything seemed better with a prayer, and Basil would pray continuously, either aloud in his room or in his heart during the day. Whenever he was free from his job, he would go to the local church. His boss did not like that Basil was pious. Pascha was approaching, and on Great Friday, thieves got into the merchant's shop and robbed it. Furious, the merchant blamed the boy and reported him to the governor. Basil was arrested and beaten by both of them, all while he calmly repeated, "I'm innocent." Yet they would not listen. The merchant struck Basil with a bunch of heavy keys, and the Christian boy fell lifeless to the ground. The two hastily buried Basil in the marshes nearby. Soon after, healings and other miracles began happening near the place where he was buried. 50 years later, his holy relics were revealed to pious local men. So that's the story of St. Basil of Mangazea, 12 years old. And then afterwards, there's a word that I'm not really familiar with, megalenarian. It's like a little prayer. And it says, "The holy Basil of Mangazea, the pious youth from the city of Yaroslav, let us so now honor him who suffered death unjustly and was revealed to be a saint of the Lord." So that's the first page. And then if I go to the back page, there's like a little bit of additional information about him. He lived in the 16th century Russia. He was a pious and meek 12-year-old boy. He was unjustly accused of a crime and martyred. He's a healer and a wonder worker. And then here's another little blurb right under his icon at the top. It says, Basil, Vasili, or Vasilios are variants of Basileos, which is Greek for the one who belongs to the king. So we have a lot of Basils in our church, and I never realized that that is Greek for the one who belongs to the king. What a cool name. Other than that, there's a little timeline about his life here at the bottom. So in 1588, the Saint Basil was born. In 1600, Saint Basil was martyred. So 12 years later, is that right? Yeah. 1619, trade with foreigners in Mangazea was forbidden. In 1652, St. Basil's holy relics were revealed, and in 1678, Mangazea was destroyed by fire. So just little facts about this city in Russia. And then here's, of course, a map. Eeks. There we go. So there we have it. One more piece of fact here. The holy relics of St. Basil of Mangazea. After St. Basil's martyrdom, the merchant and the governor put the saint's body into a makeshift coffin and, under the cover of darkness, took it to the marshes outside the town. There, they weighed the coffin down with stones. Half a century later, St. Basil appeared several times to a pious local man, archer Stefan Shiryayev. Stefan went to the marshes and found the relics of the saint, whole and incorrupt. A church was built to host the relics. Many healings took place at his burial place. So that's all I've got for you guys today. Holy St. Basil, 12 years old, 1588. I hope you guys are having a wonderful Lent, and good luck in Holy Week. And I'll see you guys real soon.